So Fortnite unfortunately didn't make any huge changes this week either, to where we have no new content, no new movement in the game, weapons, anything like that, which, you know, kind of stinks. And they extended chapter 2, the first season, all the way to February. So we're going to be in this season for a while, which is why I want to show you guys one of the big changes they made today. That is huge for console. I know we got a lot of console and controller players that watch me. So if you guys play on Xbox, PS4, Switch, whatever, I'm not sure if they added this to Switch, but it's for sure on PS4 and Xbox. I'm going to be showing you guys this and also going through the rest of my settings. But first, real quick, guys, I got to show you something cool. Some people have already been tweeting this out, but you can now search through your skins based on the season. So now if you do like season 2, look, it shows me all my season 2 skins, which I have all of 4. I used to not like buy any skins, but I mean, that's a pretty cool feature that they added to the locker room finally, because like as we get more skins, it's been so hard to find stuff. But now, guys, it's your bro Rodey bringing you another guide. Let's get right into it. Okay, so we're gonna hop on into my edit course and we're gonna check out all these settings going through. And first off, guys, let's get into the meat of this. What did they add? And now, as you'll see right here, this is a little bit different, and we're gonna ignore these first 5 settings and go straight to motion blur. So previously, they never let you kind of control the graphics settings on console, which is part of the reason why the game runs like absolute garbage on the toasters of Xbox Ones and stuff like that. And it's something I've always thought it would be so nice if they let us control that. Well, now you can turn motion blur off, which is an absolute must. If you're playing on an Xbox, PS4, whatever it may be, even, I mean, PC players know this as well. Turn motion blur off. It's going to help your game run better, and it's not going to give you that motion blur and that little sickness whenever you're moving around. That is a really big change. Then other than that, they also give user interface contrast. I'm not sure if this was on console before or not, but it really doesn't, it's not that big of a deal. It's just whatever graphics you like. And they also added colorblind mode over here, but it's also still over here. I'm not sure what happens if you change one or both of these, so let's just turn that all the way up. And yeah, so you can see that definitely takes an effect on the screen. But I'm curious what happens if, like, over here you let's try Tritanope, and yeah, it gets brighter. So you know, which one controls? Oh, okay, so it switches both. That's so weird that they have that in 2 spots. So just as you guys know, you can change this one. So we just tested it. They both do the same thing. They both change each other, which is really interesting, even though that just didn't turn that one off right there. So with the safe zone, I always just set it in the corners of my screen. I've seen different people do different things with the safe zone, but I like to just go to the corners of the screen. So that's how I recommend you set that. Going through these settings real quick with you guys, I do play on advanced controls, so we'll get to that in a second. And I did change something with my advanced controls. I do play on linear. I'll show you that in a second, but I changed something that we'll cover here in a bit. And real quick, just so you guys know, I put the HUD scale down. This is all stuff I covered a long time ago, but I just want to refresh on this. I don't show FPS because I just feel like that kind of takes up another thing on the screen. Like, you can see FPS up top, but does it really matter? And I mean, it does to an extent, but it's showing your FPS isn't going to make your FPS any better. So I usually just turn it off so it doesn't make me like complain about it. Other than that, we have sprint by default. Always have that on. Sprint cancels. I'm just going to scroll through these real quick. No reason to explain a lot of these. Just make sure you got your aim assist on and all of that. And vibration must be off also. Vibration is something that I see some people that are new to the game having on. Make sure you turn that off, and you can turn the tips off as well, because that's just really, really basic info. HUD real quick, I'll just show you. I literally have everything on HUD. Sometimes I turn the net debug stats off and all of that, but you can have whatever you want on in the HUD. So getting into this is one change that is really cool Fortnite actually added. They added the dead zones into the settings menu. So now when we show you our settings, we can show you right here, and we don't have to go over here all the time, which is really nice. And I'm actually curious if this is the same as the colorblind, to where if I move my dead zones to what they usually are, so 0.10 and 0.08, and I hit apply, it doesn't change it there, but maybe if we come back into the menu, it does change it. Okay, so you have to leave the menu to get it to apply your settings. That's good to know. Vibration also is in here, which is really, really nice. Controller auto run, I recommend you have that off because it really just messes me up whenever I try that. Build immediately with Builder Pro should 100% be on. Edit hold time, you can really have that as low as you want. I probably recommend right right around 0.10 for people. I know that's usually where people who use that go around, but I use 2 different edit binds, so I don't use that. Now let's get into the advanced controls. So we're going to turn that on, and I'm going to show you guys what I changed here. So my build multiplier is still right at like 2.0. My edit multiplier is right at 1.8. That's really a good range for me to get quick builds while also maintaining quick edits that I can control. And that's why my edit multiplier is slightly lower than my build multiplier. Now, when we go down here, I did turn up my horizontal speed up to right around 54%. I have that decently higher than what I used to, and I turned my boost up to 2%. In my last settings video, I had my boost all the way down to 0%, but I actually have them on 2% right now. And then I have a turning boost ramp time all the way down to 0, instant boost when building on. So those are some changes I made right there, is that I made my boosts up to 2%. Previously, I had them on 0. Now, my horizontal ADS speed, I have all the way down to 9%. I moved both my horizontal and vertical speeds down to 9%. I just feel like when I'm up at like 16, that my tracking up close is good, but I can't track long range. So this 9%, having the lower ADS, helps me make those longer range shots and actually track people on linear. Whereas previously it felt almost impossible to get aim assist on linear. Now this is actually helping me hit the longer range shots. And I've seen a lot of you guys ask about that. Now look dampening, I have that on 0, and I have my settings on linear as well. Aim assist strength on 100%, and that right there should be good for you. So like, just hopping in real quick, you guys are gonna see. Yo, I don't have. This doesn't. Dude, it's been so long since I played on console. I don't even have my binds on Xbox. Okay, that's actually crazy. I was wondering why that felt so weird. Let me just say, there's a massive difference between playing on 60 frames on console versus the 240 frames that I usually play with on PC. So if you guys are playing on console, and I know they have cross lobbies now, I feel like that's not really fair that you guys have to play people like me who get 240 frames. If you guys want to see me do a video where maybe I try to get a win on console, let me know, and I could definitely do something like that. All right, let's continue on with the settings. So the audio settings is entirely preference, in my opinion. I did turn 3D headphones on. I have 3D headphones on, and yeah, I kind of like it. I saw some people when it initially came out saying they didn't really love it, but I do. I don't like visual sound effects either. They just seem to be like more distractions on the screen for me, and I like to just focus on hitting my shots. Colorblind mode I have off. And then finally we get into the controls. I'm gonna have to real quick set all of these because these are not my binds. Okay, I think I got really close to my binds, but maybe not quite. But you guys kind of get the point of what I'm dealing with right here. What's really important is your edit binds, in my opinion, and your build binds. The rest of the stuff doesn't really matter too much, and it depends on what type of controller you're using. I'm using an Xbox SCUF Elite controller. So this is a SCUF controller with 4 paddles on the back. And yeah, so this gives me the ability to bind stuff to like my D-pad, and then I have them as paddles on the back. And that's why you see, like, with my edit and stuff, if we go back here, my edit is on the left D-pad, but really it's on the top left paddle in the back, which lets me just hit this and make edits really quickly with that. So yeah, those are my binds, just so you guys can see that. They seem to work really well for me. But I wanted to say something, and that is, after like playing on this, I just free built for like 30 seconds right there. You guys playing on 60 frames, if you're on console, man, I got so much respect for you guys. Like the fact that you guys can play on this and Epic is matching you guys up against PC players, it's not really fair at all. And after playing on what I play on with PC, it's like a completely different game than this right here. Like, this is so much harder. And yeah, I have so much respect for you guys. But it also just gives me nostalgia back to when I used to play on console all the time. I got to do a video on console 100%. I got to start playing. I gotta play some games on console. So guys, I hope this helped you seeing my settings and all this. I really recommend you turn on motion blur and also use a lot of the other settings I was talking about. If you get your settings right, that's what's really going to elevate you to the next level in Fortnite. You can't really get very far if you're kind of roadblocking yourself by not having the best settings that make you the most efficient player as far as movement and just builds and stuff like that go as well. So I hope this was helpful. Once again, guys, just make sure you're binding your jump and your builds and stuff to easily accessible buttons. That's what's really going to make a big difference in the game for you. So guys, this has been Cole from the Rodey Bros. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you all in the next video.